Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell in the upper right-hand corner. Follow me on all forms of social media. Check me out at thatdrummerguy.com and enjoy the following presentation.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good, Josh. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for taking the time to do this interview.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Oh, well, awesome. Well, it's great to be able to talk to you, and great to be able to talk about the brand new album from 7 Miles to Pittsburgh, Revolution on Hold, which has been out for just about a month now. I mean, it's great to see that so many people have been enjoying this album for almost a month now, and just really seeing the name of the band just getting out there with the sophomore album.
That's cool. I mean, that's what we're in it for, you know. The album has been released a little bit longer in Europe already because it took us a bit of time longer to get some distribution going in the US. But yeah, I'm happy with the reviews are good, so you know, it's all good.
Oh, it's so great to hear that. I mean, how does it feel on your end to be able to have this second album out for as long as it's been out?
Well, I mean, it's the after the first album, we really didn't expect the reactions to be that good, so we ended up having to find a full band. You know, the first album was recorded with only the three of us, me, Joris, and Andrew, and the reactions were really good, especially in Europe. And all of a sudden we found ourselves touring with Taiketo and doing some festival shows. And before we knew it, we were back in the studio recording a second album and, you know, taking it a step further.
Yeah, and, you know, being able to listen to that debut album and then being able to listen to Revolution on Hold, I mean, it's great to see the progression of the band that already happened, I mean, in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, the good thing is that we have our own studio, and basically, you know, you learn to, once you build your own studio, it's kind of a learning process on how to get the best results, obviously, and you know, especially working with somebody like yours who is, you know, a multi-instrumentalist. He knows how to get a good drum sound, he knows how to get a guitar sound, bass sound, and everything. And, you know, the second one was just so much easier because we had already figured out, you know, step by step how to do the first one, you know, trial and error, you know, doing it again and again and mixing and everything. And, you know, the second one, we had some songs left over from the recordings, from the recording sessions from the first one. So all we had to do was go back and re-record it the good way, you know, with the people that we have been playing live with for a few months already. So it's just such luxury to have your own studio. We weren't used to it, and it makes, you know, the songwriting process so much easier.
Oh yeah, I can totally imagine. I mean, when you're able to have that kind of setup, like having your own studio, and especially after making a first album like that, and just being able to relax, you know, just get the band settled in as much as possible, and get new songs rolling. I mean, when you just have that kind of pressure to do that, I just imagine that the creativity was so much easier to deal with.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you that the next couple of months we'll be back in the studio again because, first of all, it's so much fun creating new stuff. And, you know, there's no pressure. You know, we are our own record company. You know, that's you know, the best thing we've ever done is just create an environment for us to record and to release music without any pressure. You know, in the past it would be the record company saying you have a deadline, you got to be in the studio and you got to do this. Everything had to be ready, and now it's more of a natural flow. Just, you know, we'll finish the songs when we want to. We can release the album when we want to.
Yeah, and that is just so important too. I mean, when you're able to have that creative freedom and you're able able to use that inspiration the way that you want to. And when you have everything on the business side and being able to have a studio to be able to do that, I can just imagine, like you've been saying, that it is so much fun to be able to write and create these songs and just see where the band can go.
Right. Because the first time we went, started recording, I basically started recording with yours a few years ago, and just, we never really had a game plan or a marketing strategy like all these new bands seem to have these days. And it was like, it was all about just asking my favorite singer in the Netherlands, who I've been friends with forever, and he was a bit reluctant, Andrew, to start a new band, so to speak. He had just, he had he's a bit fed up with being in bands and stuff and trying to make it work. And then I said, you know what, I'll send you some music, see where it goes. And it was just three guys having fun in the studio. And then we started playing the songs to other people, and they said, you kind of have to do something with this. And we took it from there. We actually, took the old-fashioned approach and sent some demos out to record companies. And then within a few months, we found out that wasn't going to do it for us, and the next step was just doing their own record company, doing everything, the publishing and everything, make sure that everything on the business side was solid, and we just took it from there. And it's been, just so, you feel free as a musician more now than you were when you had a big record company behind you.
Oh, I can totally imagine that as well. I mean, of course there's positives and negatives, no matter what direction that you go into business-wise when it goes into music. But, being able to have that creativity and freedom and just being so happy with the music that you're creating constantly, whether it's the self-titled, whether it's Revolution on Hold, whether it's the next album that you guys are already excited about recording. I mean, there's just, when you actually have that excitement on there rather than pressure, I think that's such a great thing.
Yeah, and that's it. That is basically the way it should be. Having just being in a studio or a rehearsal room, just having fun with a bunch of guys and just playing songs, and just the whole creative process has been so much. Yeah, such a natural way of working that, in the past you would just have to go into the rehearsal room and just rehearse until you have the stuff down. And now, we can record stuff. If we don't like it right away, we can put it on the shelf and go, to a next song. It's so much easier to work, and it's so much more fruitful. There's so many old ideas that we haven't, touched upon yet. So keep on doing that, because it feels good for everybody, and everybody can make time to do their parts, and it's just I wish we would have done this in the 90s. Just build our own recording studio, start our own record company. Things would have been a lot easier for us back then.
Oh yeah, I can absolutely imagine that. But it's so great to see that still in 2019 that is still a feasible option to really be able to do that, and just being able to be happy with what you're doing as well. I mean, the fact that you've been able to tour with a band like Taiketo, and being able to get your name out that way, and just like constantly growing, and with just like so much positivity I've been seeing with this album. I mean, I just imagine that things are just going to keep getting bigger and better from here on out.
I hope so. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we think we just scratched the surface. We just want to continue doing what we're doing now. We seem to have a very solid band together now. I mean, I work with people that we basically handpicked ourselves. I work with once we got to forming a band, and there was only we were only the three of us. And, we didn't have to think long for, what drummer we were going to use, because I'd been working with Dirk in Elegy for 17 years, so I knew what he was capable of, and then he was reliable, and you don't have to go back and forth with him about, little things, and he's a good personality. And Andrew had been working with Remco, the Hammond player, for in a tribute band, in Led Zeppelin tribute band in the Netherlands that play all over Europe. So he's known him for quite some time. So you pretty much know what you can expect from, there's nothing like you have to find out what your personalities are once you're on the tour bus, which happens a lot when when you've only been touring or playing locally, and once you're in a tour bus for 24 hours a day together, and it's different sometimes. I don't have to worry about that with these guys. I know that things will work out just fine. And we've done this. We've traveled to the Czech Republic. We played in Belgium, and we played shows all over Holland. So it's just looking like, even if we would go on a road trip and we didn't have to play a show, it would still be fun.
Oh yeah, and I think that's just so important too. I mean, when you're able to find the right group of people to be able to create music with, because when you don't have that, I mean, that can be the start of so many problems that happen in so many bands. But when you handpick the right people, like you mentioned, and you just have this mindset of like knowing who to work with, working with them in the past, and then wanting to start on a new band together. I mean, it's so important to be able to know what those people are like, what they're capable of doing, and then both musically and then being on the road together. It's going to make for a stronger band in the long run.
Exactly, and that's. I mean, it's luxury. Let's be honest. It doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you have to work with people. I mean, I've been in a band situation that you work with people that, in the end, the band breaks up and you never talk to these people again. I mean, you've made great music, but in the end, we've reached, we're so, I would say, experienced now that you don't want to go through that anymore. You don't want to be in that, in a tour bus. You don't want to do interviews with some band members that might embarrass you in the process. You just want to be able that everybody's relaxed and everybody feels, like they know they're enjoying themselves. You don't have to worry about that one guy that's not going to show up at a photo session or something. You know what I mean? So and sometimes it's just hard finding the right type of people. I mean, I've been on a hunt for the right musicians ever since I left or we stopped with Elegy. Then with Elegy, it was just, there were some great guys in Elegy as well, but once that band stopped, it was very difficult finding, the right guys to start something new with. You have to like the same type of music. I mean, I've been offered a lot of opportunities with bands that sounded familiar to the style that we were doing with Elegy, and I just wasn't into it, because it felt to me like I had already done that. So you have to start something new, and me hooking up with ex-Elegy bass player with the ex-vocalist from the Sleazebees, and it's kind of people were kind of raising their eyebrows, going, what's happening here? So I knew it was going to work, but we still had to prove it to the people that it was going to work.
Oh yeah, and that's just so important too, and especially when you are starting to do something that is different than what you're doing before. I mean, it can be a refreshing feeling to be able to do that as well. I mean, obviously being able to go from progressive rock band to more of like the hard rock style with some great proggy elements going on in 7 Miles of Pittsburgh. I mean, I love that formula that you guys have with this band. But it's just like, it's so important to be able to have all of those facets in check, and that's exactly what's going on with the band. And yeah, that's why I'm just so excited to see what you guys are going to be doing in the future when it comes to touring and new albums and stuff like that, because now that the full polish is going on with this album, I mean, just like I said before, I just imagine it getting bigger and better because everyone in the band knows what to do with this band, and just being able to work on any problems that there is and just being able to make everything stronger.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what we're aiming for. You just want to, improve on what you're doing all the time. And and just keep it going for as long as possible. I mean, the whole reason why you play music is because first of all, you want to enjoy yourself, but you want to have people enjoy themselves who are listening to the music. And I think so far we've accomplished that.
And with that in mind, I mean, when you were going from the debut album and then working on to Revolution on Hold, obviously there was some touring that was going on with Taiketo. I mean, what was that like to be able to go out on the road with this band for the first time?
Well, the funny thing was we like I said, we got these shows offered with Taiketo, and they pitched the idea to Danny Vaughn from Taiketo, and he said, "Yeah, sure, it's a new band. We'll give him an opportunity to play with us, no problem." And then we played the first show, and he walked into our dressing room and said, "No way that this was you guys' first show. I mean, you must have been around for a long time." He said, "No, man, this is the first show we've ever done with this outfit." I mean, of course, it wasn't our first rodeo. We've been in other bands, but he was really impressed with how we sounded, and it's good to hear from the people that have been around for all this time that they like your music, and I mean, we were just very grateful for getting this opportunity with them, and really nice guys, really great band, and it was a good package, and they gave us they gave us our opportunity to do our thing, and it worked out well.
Oh, it's so great to hear that too. I mean, especially when you're able to do those first shows with a band such as Taiketo and bringing in that audience. I mean, when you are establishing that name for 7 Miles to Pittsburgh, I mean, it's so important to make a great first impression. And it was great to be able to see it in that kind of setting.
Right, and that's we were really grateful for that. I mean, it's good to be. Of course, obviously, if you have a debut album out, you're not going to go on stage as a headliner. So we were happy to get some some festival gigs. We were doing the opening act for Taiketo, and it's after we did the second album, all we did was play festival. We headlined some local festivals, and we did our own headlining show. So it's been going a bit fast, but it seems to be going well. So hopefully it'll keep going from here.
Oh yeah, and it's great to see that happening in just a short amount of time. I mean, being able to go from those opening shows to being able to headline some local festivals, and being able to extend the set list, being able to play songs off both albums, and never getting tired of the music that you're doing because you are enjoying it so much, and you're starting to establish so many more songs, and just everything going in the right direction. And I mean, I love hearing what's going on with that for that reason.
Cool. I mean, that's. I mean, reactions like this, just that's what keeps us going. You want if you put an album out and nobody likes it, I mean, that's never fun. So we basically, this is a good. Yeah, I mean, so far all the interviews we've been doing in the US, it's been very positive. So we're really happy with the response we're getting. Last month it's been released in Japan also. We've been getting some good reviews there. So all in all, we can't be happier.
Oh, it's so great to hear that. So, with that in mind, you did mention that work was already starting to begin on the third album. I mean, what is that like? I mean, when you got the studio, when you got the right kinds of people, and you got so many great positive things that are going in there, I mean, how does it feel to be going back and then working on the third album?
Well, the funny thing is that we've like I said, from the first the sessions we did for the first album, we had about 5, 6, 7 songs left over. We started working on them, and for the second session, we have some ideas left over. We'll come up with new ideas, and if we find an old idea that we can work with and improve it, and once it's ready, it's ready. But there's so many creative ideas already flowing around within in the group, the band members. So it's more or less, we can't wait to go back in the studio, and instead of having to do a next album. It's so much more fun now, and everybody's just eager to go back in the studio. And it's a good thing, because everybody nowadays can just put their 5 cents in, and till the songs are ready. And maybe it'll take 3 months, maybe it'll take 6 months, maybe it'll take a year. doesn't matter. We decide when it's going to come out, but I don't think it'll be that long, because there's so many good ideas floating around already that I'm really excited to put the new music out as well. But let's focus on Revolution on Hold first. But it's just looking up. It's looking good.
Oh yeah, and this is such a great album to still be excited about. I mean, of course it just came out this year, and between
Right.
both albums with the self-titled and Revolution on Hold, and just seeing where the band is at right now, and then with the third album, that being the first one, like with fully brand new ideas, and it's just like it's just so cool to see everything that's going on that way. And again, just like you've mentioned, when you get the right people, when you have your own studio, you have your own label, and you're able to do things and take the amount of time that you want to take with it, it
Yeah.
can only be a benefit that way when you don't have that time and pressure from a label, or when you're expected to come back, because you really want that quality over quantity.
Right, right. And sometimes in the past you would have to compromise a little bit, Once there would be deadlines and you weren't really ready, and you'd record a song that you weren't really 100% satisfied with, those days are over. You can just sit in the album as long as you want to, finish it, and, once it's really, you're 100% ready for it, that's when you're going to do it. And that's the easiest. That's the only way to explain it. For us, there's no deadlines, there's no pressure, so we can go into the studio when we want and release it when we want. And again, it's luxury. When we started this band, we never thought it would go this way. We were just having fun, a couple of guys recording music, and we decided to put it out just so it would be out there. And everything that came from that, our drummer recently got a endorsement deal with a drum company. Joris, I hooked up Joris with Framus guitars, since I've been an endorser with them for the last couple of years. And we actually have an opportunity now to go to NAMM in LA to represent both Warwick and that British drum company. So who would have thought a couple of years ago that this would all happen? I mean, certainly not me.
Oh, and that is just so incredible. I mean, being able to get such amazing names like Warwick and Framus being able to endorse the band. I mean, they put out such amazing quality guitars and basses. I mean, that's just so cool to see that.
Yeah, but obviously you must be a drummer.
Yes.
Have you heard of the British Drum Company?
I have.
It's the follow-up for Premier Drums, I think. The Premier Drums went under, and the custom shop guys basically started their own company, the British. And Dirk was an endorser for Premier Signia in the 90s, and he now went over to the new company. So it's a big achievement for him. I think he's probably one of the the hottest session drummers at the moment. He's played with a lot of artists, and I think it's well deserved for him to be playing with British Drum Company. It's amazing quality drums. He's just got his new kit, and another reason to start recording again. If you have new gear, you want to try it out.
Oh, it's so true. I mean, there's so much that you can mess around with it, being able to check out the right tones that you want to do, just get the right material. And then when you get everything that you want to, and you're able to play around with it and get the right sounds, I mean, as soon as you can get in the studio and just being able to at least try out and see how it sounds recorded, I mean, that's such a great feeling.
Yeah, and that's another way of improving your sound, and it's a fun process. Again, it's like we're just kids in a candy store, so to speak. It's more fun for us than work, and I think we should be able to keep it that way. As long as you're enjoying yourself, whether it's successful or not, at least you had a great time.
Absolutely. And, again, with that in mind, I mean, the fact that you're able to go over to NAMM in January, I mean, that's just so cool to be able to represent that with such amazing endorsement deals and companies, just being able to go over there and meet so many great people, fans and people in the business, and just being able to have such a good time coming up.
You're right, right. Well, I mean, I've been playing famous Warwick basses for I think almost 25 years. I think I got my streamer in '95. So, and I was an endorser way back in the '90s for a little bit. And when I got in touch with them through a bass player here in Amsterdam called Jeroen Tesseling, he hooked me up with Warwick again, with the owner, and he actually was part of building the bass that I had been playing for 25 years, almost. So for him it was kind of like a bit of nostalgia going on, and he offered me a new deal, and I was ecstatic, and I was over the moon. And I've been, my arsenal now, there's more and more basses coming, so maybe not good for me, but hey, I chose to be a musician, therefore I chose to be poor, I always say.
Oh, that's great. But, it's just like when you are in that situation, when you are able to work with an amazing company like Warwick, who easily puts out some of the best basses out there in the world. I mean, being a musician, you're going to be poor, but just think of the sound qualities, think of what you can accomplish on those basses, and the musical creative freedom that you get to do, and being able to spread that good word to other musicians that want to be able to find that great bass tones.
Right. And for me, it was just, being able to, I've been up and going up and down the studio every once, or the factory in Markneukirchen in Germany a few times now over the last couple of months. And just the amount of materials they have, the different kinds of wood, pickups and everything, the fingerboards and everything they have there, the options you have, there's so many. It took me a few months to really consider, what I wanted. There's so many options for I really had to think what would be my dream bass to build. And like they say, if you can dream it, they can build it, and they did. My new bass will be delivered end of this week. So it's everybody. I can't wait to get it, and that's one of the reasons. I can't wait to go in the studio and test this thing out and go and use it live.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine the excitement that you have right now. I mean, as soon as you get that, I just imagine that you'd want to go straight into the studio and just being able to play that the whole weekend.
Exactly. It's like, Christmas. It's like it's your birthday. It's all at once. The excitement alone, I haven't even gotten it, and I'm already excited.
Oh, that's just so cool. Again, with everything that's going on with the band right now, I mean, from endorsement deals to being able to put out 2 amazing albums so far to amazing opportunities for live shows that you've done in the past. I mean, obviously with the 3rd album coming up at some point, what's going to be happening with the band until then?
Well, we usually take our the months of December, January, and February as an opportunity to record new material, because Andrew L, being part of the band Physical Graffiti, which is a Led Zeppelin tribute band who really travels all over Europe and Scandinavia and even to Russia, and they play all over the place, and they usually have 3 months booked solid. So in the meantime, we go into the studio and we try and make up for, well, not for lost time, but at least use that time that we have wisely, and go into the studio and try out different things, try out new song ideas, and record as much as possible. And the 30th of November we'll be doing our last show. We'll be introducing our limited edition line of beer, because I think every self-respecting band should have their own beer. We'll have 7 Miles to Pittsburgh Amber Ale. So just as a parting gift for this year for the fans.
Oh, that's incredible. I'm glad to see that you guys are at that point to be able to have a beer like that. I mean, that's just so cool.
Well, the funny thing is that we were often talking about, if everything, a lot of stuff is based on your social media credibility and all that stuff you're following and all. And Andrew always said, you can post something about your band, you'll get a few hundred likes. You post a picture of a beer, you get 1,000 likes because everybody loves beer, So we thought, what if we just combined the both, We can now make a picture of a beer with the band logo on it. So basically, if that doesn't help, I don't know what will.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, everybody loves beer. I mean, when you're able to go to a show, when you're able to drink and enjoy the band that you're going to see live,
right.
I mean, that's just such a great, incredible experience.
Right,
and it's great to be able to see that with a signature from 7 miles to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a local brewery here in Eindhoven that's called Helmantel Brewery, and they're basically music fans, and they gave us the opportunity to do a beer with them, and we said, let's just do it, just for the hell of it. It's just what we call it, a gadget or just something, just a fun way of getting some extra attention to the band, and it's shouldn't be taken too seriously. We're musicians, we're not going into the beer business. We're not Sammy Hagar, who's going to be doing Cabo Wabo tequila or rum or whatever. So it's kind of the for us a bit of just a way of attracting some attention.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect note to be able to end this on, being able to talk about some great beer, being able to get the name out that way. Be it beer, be it live shows, be it brand new music, be it this interview. I mean, there's so many great things to be able to help promote this band, and I'm glad to be able to be a part of it, being able to help promote 7 Miles to Pittsburgh, and of course the brand new album, Revolution on Hold, available now. I love this album from start to finish. I love what's going on with the band. I know the band's only going to get stronger and just keep putting out even better material with every forthcoming album. And it was great to be able to talk to you about everything that's been going on, from the start of the band to some upcoming beer to, in 2020 when you guys are working on new ideas and just working on making the band as strong as it possibly can be.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for all the compliments. I mean, and that's the reason why we do this. And we're really hopeful that people will pick this up in the U.S. And thanks to your show and other interviews that we've done. I mean, it's just like I said, everything helps, and we'll do everything to promote this band.